Now, this one is two very related topics. One of them is movies, and the second of which is popcorn. Now, I'm going to jump onto the popcorn one first because it's a more interesting one. The second one is just going to be a quick recap on something which we already discussed, but just talking about it once more in a bit more detail. So it says this, it's coming from the Artemis, posted 9 hours ago. Don't send popcorn to Citadel. Of course, others do apply here. Now, I want to provide, of course, the reading itself and then some context from my own opinion. I wouldn't suggest sending them popcorn. They'll find a way to twist it into some kind of a coordinated attack. Plus, it raises privacy issues with Uber Eats. Might I suggest sending some popcorn to the nearby food banks instead? Now, yeah, I like a lot of this, and I think a lot of it is very true. Now, I want to go on to decipher it all, then provide my opinion, as I did say. I'm going to start off here. Now, they will probably find a way to point it into some kind of a attack, or at least spin it in the media as a negative. And again, this could apply to any hedge fund or anybody which you anticipate sending popcorn to when they don't wish to receive it. It will be probably spun in a negative way. And apes as a movement, we are a community, yes, but we are not a coordinated attack group, so don't forget that. We should portray ourselves in an honest and decent way, even if those against us do not. We should stick to our values, and please be fair. Now, I understand the concept of sending it over to them in the sense that it gives AMC money because you're buying a product from them. It's going to help them on the figures for the next quarter or so. So yes, it's beneficial to AMC, but detrimental to the movement. So I do really like what the user says. This is not just something about popcorn, so don't think it is only popcorn. Adam Aaron said that they are finding a way to roll out AMC snacks as well. And of course they do snacks as well. So there is going to be some decent food in there, and it can be sent over to the food banks, the homeless shelters, or perhaps you can buy it and then give it to people who are more destitute than you are. So that's a more meaningful, heartful way to do it, and it only has positive implications. Again, don't give them any reason to find malice in our movement, because they will do their best to do that. So please think about it more carefully. Anyway, moving on to the second point I want to cover, it is coming from over here. It says, the domestic box office for 2022. Now, you'll remember only a couple weeks ago we had Top Gun Maverick, and it feels like only yesterday that we were looking even at Doctor Strange. These were our top two. There we had The Batman, we had Jurassic World. Come down a bit further. Now, what I want to remind you guys to keep your eyes on is going to be this at the moment. It's going to be the figures coming from Thor, Love and Thunder. It's been out for about 2 days as a current, and this is the total of 2022. Now, it really is up there. Again, it's on 17. If we look all the way down, we can see a lot of movies have been released this year. Again, this is counting up to 200, the smallest of which has raked in only about 14 grand, 15 grand. Coming up to the high end, we're looking at all the way at those figures, those big budget movies, looking at roughly $500 million with Top Gun. So you see the changes, the disparity in between the two. Although what I'm trying to say is keep your eyes on where Thor's going to be moving. And this is only the domestic box office, but it's looking very good. Again, possibly, if not probably, going to overtake the 16th, maybe even the 15th spot in the next couple of days. And I think it's looking to be another great release, and that once more is going to be helping the revenue. So I did want to speak about this again because it was a topic that we kind of looked at earlier, but I wanted to discuss the actual numbers of it here and talk about what it's going to mean for us going forwards. And whilst this is for the whole, of course, of the box office, don't think it will not have an impact on AMC specifically, because they will, of course, receive a decent share of the market, meaning that a good portion of revenue will go to them. And then there is, of course, all of the other great stuff like the snacks, which we just mentioned a moment ago, which will all have an impact on how revenue is looking into the next quarter when the earnings come out, of course, into the next couple of weeks when we see our previous quarter's earnings, and of course into the more long term. Now, people always say fundamentals don't matter, and whether you think they do or do not, they are important because it means that the price is likely or should rather be higher than it currently is. Anyway, that is of course just the way that I see it. If you enjoyed this, do subscribe. I'll be back with you in a bit for more stuff, but for now, we're going to say goodbye.